Junkies!
Let's start talking about the #1 movie in America, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Honestly, if you guys remember last week, I was kind of really pessimistic and kind of like upset. Like, why would, Sony kind of like steal Shang-Chi's thunder? This is a movie I felt like needed a lot of help to get where it needed to go. I felt like that the Spider-Man trailer had stolen all of the thunder. Well, I don't know shit, apparently, because Shang-Chi like shattered the Labor Day movie opening record, which was previously set by Rob Zombie's Halloween back in 2017. That movie made $54 million in opening weekend. Shang-Chi did $94 million in one weekend, and that was straight theatrical, with even not every single person filling the movie theater like they probably could.
Yeah, could you imagine non-COVID?
Imagine a non-COVID world for Shang-Chi, and it made $94 million. This would have been a bananas movie if everything was 100%. So let's talk about Shang-Chi. Everybody, give your feelings about it. I'm gonna start with you because you and Fallen Marvel went to see it in the movie theater together. What's your take on it?
I'm glad they answered a lot of questions that I had, and I'm mad they installed a billion new questions.
Isn't that the way what they're supposed to do?
They do that all the time,
right?
I know, but this time it was a little different because this was a story where they had a little room to play with. So like they threw so many things in that I lost sight of what I was paying attention to. I don't know how to get that part out. Like, I don't know how spoilery we're allowed to get.
One of our regulars, our CJ regulars, the mayor, Wolverine Solid X, he hasn't seen the film yet.
He hasn't seen it.
Well, he must have been really busy.
Oh yeah,
I think he was filming, so he probably did.
Yeah.
He probably did.
Close your ears.
Let's try not to be too spoilery.
Close your ears.
Do your best. Do your best.
I mean, when Thanos showed up, you were like, "What the fuck?"
Do your best. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Just trying to figure out like what was actually going on with Shang-Chi while everybody was blipped is the thing that's on my brain right now.
Okay, but why? Why is that even important? Like, I'm just curious. You're not the first person to bring that up. What led you to believe that he was blipped?
They never said it.
I don't know. Like, no one ever said it or anything. It just seems like that would have been part of something because it wasn't like he didn't know who he was or anything. He knew his own stuff. He just was hiding from it. Like
right. So okay. I'm not getting down on you. I'm not trying to say it's a stupid thought, but literally there was an article from CBR that came out today discussing like who, if anybody was, affected by Thanos' blip. Who cares? Like, it's the movie. Who cares?
Because of the time frame in between people meeting other people and things happening is why that's kind of important.
I don't think he got blipped.
Yeah,
he didn't.
I don't think he got blipped. The Mandarin didn't get blipped. His sister didn't get blipped. They didn't get blipped.
Yeah,
and neither did what's her name, Aquafina.
Well, here's the other part of that. You can't I like the fact that the only movie that really even dealt with it was Spider-Man: Homecoming. Some of the series, of course, have dealt with it.
In minor ways.
Yeah, in minor ways. WandaVision dealt with it. But you hamstring yourself if you keep having to explain that in every single movie that goes forward.
Right.
It happened. We're past it.
Move on.
Move to the next thing.
What did Rhodey say in Iron Man 2?
Yeah, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it.
Right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Exactly.
I know, but with so many things happening at the same time inside of the same years and stuff inside of the universe, it just kind of. It just kind of throws a little bit of me out of whack.
That would have took away from the story, I think, if they went into that.
Yeah,
they would have
if they had to deal with that
because they had to establish who Shang-Chi is, why Shang-Chi is, and where Shang-Chi is going, and they did that. And if they did anything else, it would have took away from that.
I totally agree.
But what year is No Way Home supposed to?
2025.
2024. I thought.
Well, 2024 was when they came back.
Yeah.
Remember, it was 2 years later.
So the calendars in Shang-Chi say 2024.
So maybe it's happening simultaneously. Like he's over in freaking Italy, and Shang-Chi is doing his thing.
Not only that, they already have one major mistake in Civil War.
Right.
Between Civil War and Homecoming.
Civil War and Homecoming,
who cares?
Right.
Yeah, the only thing that I think would be the big mistake, if the fight was in 2024, is Captain Marvel's hair.
Now, Amarak, you got a point. Got a point. She's long haired again, like she shouldn't be. But anyway, Amarak, I you're one of my brothers. I get it. I love you, man. But don't overanalyze it. Just.
They did that to themselves through me.
No, you're right. No, you're right. But let's talk about the rest of the movie. Like, what other things in the movie did you really enjoy? Like, what was great? What was not so great? Who did you love the most in the film?
Dude, I hate to say this. I hate to say that I liked Awkwafina in this. Yay! I am not a fan of hers, but she was so great in this movie, dude. It was weird.
Okay, fair.
I didn't think she would have. I thought she was a side character. I was hoping she'd have got Stacy. I don't.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
She worked out so great in this film. His sister, I don't know.
I thought she was gonna freaking flip on him the whole movie. I'm thinking that she was gonna flip on him at the end and just what you call it. But it just felt like that was gonna happen.
Right, especially after after she got reintroduced to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to happen eventually.
Well, we know it's gonna happen. I just thought in the movie she's gonna be like, "Peace, deuces. I'm helping Dad right now."
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would have been them confronting each other at least 2 or 3 times before anything happened, kind of deal.
GQ.
No, Shang-Chi was awesome. They did an amazing job with the fight choreography, taking it to a new level, actually. And I think this is why, like I said, The Matrix is going to actually have some really, really good fight choreography, because this was wire fu on another level, and I liked it. It was really, really well done. The subway fight was awesome. I'm not sorry.
The bus fight.
Yeah, the bus fight.
Yeah,
that was awesome, because you literally, had my man fighting inside, outside. It reminded me of just how cool it was to see the Spider-Man train sequence in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
it was back on that level of like, oh, they're getting real innovative. They're actually doing more stuff, new stuff. And so it was really good to see. And dude that played Shang-Chi he did great.
Yeah, Simu Liu actually has a background as a stunt man, which I believe absolutely led to him being able to reasonably perform all of these stunts and look believable.
Oh yeah,
which was great. And I think I said this. I don't know who I said this to. I forget who I said it to, but it felt like his ascendance in Hollywood, to him being cast as Shang-Chi, given his background as a stuntman, it was another example of like perfect timing, perfect casting on Marvel's part. Because it was like you had the look, you had the charisma, and you also have the skills.
Yep. And
it all just blends together, and everything, movie magic happens. Now, I was a big hater of the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3. Y'all remember that? Like, Megatron he texted me while I was in the theater. He said, "Hey man, watch out for that Mandarin." It's just like, what are you talking about? He was like, "You gonna see." And dude, I texted him back. I was so mad. I was so mad because the Mandarin, I felt like, was an important character, that they didn't need to do this comedic twist with Trevor Slattery. I was so upset, and it immediately killed Iron Man 3 for me, a movie that I felt kind of pretty good about up until that moment.
And watch it and love it. Go like,
no, still won't do that. I still won't do that. Now. But anyway,
that was good.
Tony Leung as Wenwu, the Mandarin, aka the Mandarin, phenomenal job, and phenomenal in that I'm not even talking about his action. I'm talking about the emotion that he portrayed every moment he was on the screen, whether it be silent pauses, how he conveyed emotion in his eyes, in his face, and even with his words. Out of all the people that Marvel has tried in cinematic terms to make a sympathetic figure, he might be the one that is the most sympathetic, because he literally was a broken man who wanted to not only put his family back together, but he really would just want to be reunited with his wife, and he would move heaven and earth to do so.
He gave up everything.
He gave up everything for her.
her.
Yeah, he gave up everything for her, lost her, went into a deep depression. I mean, it was the most human thing possible for someone that was supposed to be one of the biggest Asian boogeymans in Marvel history. I thought it was great, and his performance was phenomenal. I loved it.
Thanos was sympathetic, similarly.
Not to this degree in a way, because Thanos, while he could make the argument that his plan was logical and even somewhat benevolent, it has a little bit of a sociopathic taint to it. This one is more altruistic. I'm about love. I'm about my heart.
Nah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we end up arguing about that forever.
Here's why. Thanos wanted to do what he wanted to do now granted, he wanted everyone to be grateful to him at the end of the day.
Right.
But he was doing it because he felt that the universe needed saving. You can break down, and that was a love of the universe, essentially.
Which you'll never convince me that Thanos did it out of love for the universe.
I don't need to, because I'm just telling you what the truth is. I don't have to convince you of the truth. It is the truth, whether you accept it or not. The same thing can be said of the Mandarin's obsession with his wife. He refused to believe any other way. That was his wife speaking to him. Even when demons were starting to crawl out of the wall he was opening, that's my wife calling to me.
Well, part of that was the Ring's fault. They were influencing him.
It don't matter. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same level of dedication to a cause.
All right. Let's see what they're talking about in the chat. So, Father Marvel says his sister felt like she should have been more tweener in the story. I'm not exactly sure what he means by that.
Like in wrestling, where you can't tell which side she's going to land on.
Okay.
She definitely, to me, like I said, felt like she was total heel, if we're going to use that, even though she was totally face until the reveal at the end. But I don't know. It was something about her. I thought she was just going to switch, but yeah.
Right. King to King says, Wynn was a broken old man. Imagine living that long, finding real peace, and then it gets snatched from you.
Yeah,
I mean, there is something to that, too. Like, he was alive for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
What did and it's an important question from King to King. What did everybody think of the reimagining of the Mandarin and the rings? I thought, and the reasoning why they did the thing with the rings, the original Makluan rings in the comics were very similar to the Infinity Stones. They were 10 rings of power, each one with a unique power set. And they also, this was revealed later in the comics, but they all each had their own malevolent entity in them. I think it was wise of Marvel to move away from the individual rings of power, because it would have been too similar to the Infinity Gauntlet. We just got done with that. We don't need to see that again. Yeah. I think the twist that I would love to see where they're going with this, but also we have to thank what is it, what is that movie, the 29 Chambers of the Shaolin, something like that. It was this old martial arts movie that is that basically highlighted Huangar Kung Fu, which uses the rings on the forearms as to not only just reinforce your forearms and their strength, but are used within the art. So that's where the inspiration for the 10 rings came from. They just decided to put a twist on that.
Yeah,
and I think it was a brilliant execution.
As well. Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle. That could be the inspiration, but again, going off of somebody else's theory on the internet.
Well, you also saw Kung Fu Hustle on Shang-Chi's wall.
Yeah, it sure did. So that's why it could have been a very Kung Fu hustly thing.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, from what I've been told, according to some other YouTuber, it's the power.
The Negabands.
Negabands. It's a play on. It's not exactly them. They just took that and kind of like molded it.
I think I think the guy who's going off of that theory is kind of reaching for something
They're probably
similar.
Reaching. I mean, Mephisto,
right. They're reaching for something similar because the Negabands don't even function in the same way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't function in the same way.
They don't even function in the same way. Like, not only just the Negabands were used by Captain Marvel and the original Captain Marvel to swap places with Rick Jones, but they also had energy projection, and you can't You're not doing that with the Ten Rings.
No,
At
what
least
are you
we don't
talking
know.
about?
We don't know.
That motherfucker was doing Ryu from Super Street Fighter. He was, he was about to throw it. I want to.
Plus, the other thing you have to remember, we've already seen the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. They were used two different ways once in Infinity War and also in Doctor Strange.
Yes.
So Marvel / Disney reimagines a lot of the things out of the books. They just rename them or repurpose them or do whatever.
That's true. The Iguana Man wants to send a shout out to Brad Allen. He did great with the choreography. He unfortunately passed away. Is no longer with us. So yeah, give great shout outs to that. But I want to see
somebody else passed away this week too.
Yeah,
yes, they did. Michael
Williams.
K. Williams, which is very unfortunate. We neglected to bring that up in Run the Gamut. So we apologize for that. Talented actor. I mean, one of the greats that we had in recent memory. One of the great African American actors. We don't get too many of them around, so it's too bad we lost him. All right, so for this next segment, I actually want to bring our producer over to lend her voice, being the only Asian in the building, to talk about how the relevance of Shang-Chi, what it's done for, or kind of like its place in Asian American cinematography history, because this is our first Asian American superhero that we've got in any kind of Hollywood film, but also it is like a cornerstone of how Asian Americans have been on the rise in Hollywood in general over the course of the past decade.
You know what's about to happen now? DC is going to retort, and they're going to put the Chinese Superman in the movies.
No, they're going to put the Karate Kid out there.
Karate Kid from Legion of Superheroes.
Was he DC? I thought he was.
Yeah, Legion of Superheroes. The Legion of Superheroes
I was thinking
has
of
Karate
the
Kid.
actual Karate, not that Karate Kid, but the Daniel
comic book.
son. I thought they made a comic book, and that was underneath Marvel, and they did crossover.
No,
with
it is.
Joe or something
Yeah,
like
no, you're absolutely right.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.